Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm so thrilled to have our next guest. Not only is she a community leader, she's an executive, she's a mom, she serves on the board of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and so many other important activities in this great city we call Houston. We are thrilled to have her on the show. We are thrilled that her team is so engaged with us and that they served as one of our underwriters just most recently in Houston, the largest business luncheon and expo in this great region. She's going to tell you a little bit more about her role, what she does, and why Community Health Choice is so involved with the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Please welcome President and CEO Lisa Wright. Thanks for joining us, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murillo, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be with you here today.
Well, again, thank you for your leadership. Your entire team is so vested in this partnership, engaged, they show up, they set up their expo, they're wherever we've called, you guys have been present. And Houston's such a big city. There's so many needs, there's so many opportunities, but you personally made a huge commitment of time to us at this chamber. And I just want to say thank you. I know you are extraordinarily busy, but based on what I could tell, there is a business strategy also behind this for community
Absolutely.
health choice and the chamber. So let's talk about community health choice, what you all do, and why this partnership matters, please.
Absolutely. So thank you so very much. Community Health Choice, we, of course, are a local nonprofit health insurer. We've been here for 30 years and serve well over 450,000 people that live right here in Houston and surrounding counties. It's our goal to not only provide health insurance, but provide quality health insurance at a very affordable price. We have well over 20,000 providers. We have all of our hospital systems that we see each and every day, as well as all of our local federally qualified health centers. And working with you and your team is extremely important to us because our membership, when you look at our membership, vast majority of our membership are Hispanic, and we work really hard to make certain that they are well connected, not only with physical health and behavioral health needs, but probably most importantly, non-medical drivers of health.
So let's talk about that also, because we know that, especially in your industry, there's been a lot of disruption, and it seems that very challenging for consumers to keep up with it. But I would imagine also for you all as a company to match what you're being asked to do with the needs of the clientele that you're serving and the communication of all of this. So how do you all navigate those waters?
Absolutely. We're seeing that access that people need goes well beyond just having health insurance and having coverage. For many families, language barriers, barriers to transportation, or honestly, simply understanding how to navigate healthcare is a challenge. And we're very intentional about meeting people not only where they are, but ensuring that they have bilingual support, that they have community-based outreach, and that we are connecting and building partnerships that help build trust in the community and make healthcare feel more accessible.
And not only that, but in our recent last visit together, you all have people who are on the phone, actual human beings that are answering questions. So let's talk about that and how that makes a difference for your clients.
Absolutely. And so being not just based locally, having people that are in the community locally, having what we call a member center in the community where people can go. Our job is to not only meet them where they are, but help navigate and help them navigate in person. Healthcare is complex. It's not just easy for people to just set up an appointment. It's not about the appointment. It's honestly the activity and action that happens after the medical appointment. Did you go to your doctor? Did you pick up your prescriptions? Did you get home? Do you know how to take your prescriptions? And we have people that will help you not only in person, but as you mentioned, via telephone to help you figure all of that out.
And also, I know very important is, especially right now with so many people who are looking for employment or perhaps have been laid off, you guys are hiring so they can go to your website and learn more about job opportunities, including call center, where you can, in some cases, work out of your home and get some training and do well and help people all at once. So if you're looking for work, go and visit that community health choice for job opportunities.
Absolutely. So we are hiring all the time, especially call center. We have clinical opportunities. We have positions all the way from entry level to executive positions. And we again are based right here in Houston. And all of the people that work for us live in Houston because it's very important to us that we understand our communities. And so all of our employees live and they work right here in the community.
Excellent, excellent. And one last point to bring up, and you somewhat touched this, but again, the rising cost and what that impact has, that you're trying to find solutions for families that are on a budget, and that you understand that now more than ever, that people need to have choices.
Absolutely. Affordability is one of our biggest concerns that we hear from people, and especially during today's times. And it's our responsibility not only to provide coverage, so whether that's offering low cost or no cost care, connecting members to services in the community that help them stay healthy and learn how to be healthy. And then where we can offer support on preventative care is really our intention because we recognize that early intervention is what can keep people healthier longer. So connecting them to a medical home, educating them about the importance of having a medical home and having someone that they can call. The beautiful thing about community is that our workers aren't just available 8 to 5. Our workers are available all the time. We have a community outreach team that really connects with members. And so when they're having problems figuring out what to do, they have our number. They know they can call us and we're going to help them navigate through it. And so focusing on affordability and making certain they know how to get affordable coverage is why we're here.
And access to a human being who's here in Houston. Only that, but you're also helping with employment opportunities, right? You're employing Houstonians, you're involved in the community, you're involved in the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you're involved with the Boys and Girls Club, so many other things, not just you, but all of your team. Yeah, I see it all throughout the community and you're giving back. And so we want to say thank you to you and your team, and especially so thankful that you've joined the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, that you all were part of one of the underwriters for this big luncheon and expo. And we're still getting phone calls from people who attended that got a job, that made contacts, that got a contract, that were inspired and motivated. So our thanks to you and the entire Community Health Choice team. Lisa, thanks for all you do. We're super proud of you. We'll see you very soon. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're so thrilled to have our guest who's joining us. He's been involved with the Chamber for many, many years. He's had a very, very stellar banking career. He's going to talk to us a little bit about Fifth Third, all the dynamic things that they are doing, exciting things for Houston. And he is here with us today. Scott Silvas, his new title is South Texas Region President of Fifth Third Bank. I had to look down to catch that big title, but we know him, we value him, we appreciate him and the Fifth Third team. And I want to say thank you for all the support that Scott has given to this chamber and the entire team. And it's been a great collaboration and having them as our corporate partner for many, many years. Scott, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Lauda. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and always enjoy visiting with you and supporting the Hispanic Chamber. The last 7 years that I've been at Fifth Third has been one of the most value-add organizations that we've been able to partner with. I'm excited about some of the great things you all have done and continue to do. Part of the excitement about us being a much bigger bank now in Houston post the Comerica acquisition is that we have a whole lot more team and focus in the market in this big, expansive market in Houston. And now there's so many more ways we can leverage the Hispanic Chamber and the wonderful things you do. So we look forward to a great relationship continuing forward.
We appreciate it. And I think it's important to note that Houston's a very large city, fourth, third, depending on who you ask in the country. And the banking sector is very competitive. But you made a strategic decision when you came in, and we worked very closely on marketing and branding. You guys are sponsoring and serving as underwriter of the luncheon. And since then, you all have moved to some of our other events, including the Infrastructure Summit, the CEO breakfasts. And so as your strategy has changed, you've brought the chamber along to adjust that strategy. And it's important for folks who are watching us that are heading up corporations is that part of what the chamber does is that we try to customize your sponsorship to meet your needs. And it's not a one size fits all. And Scott, your team has been very deliberate in the way you all have invested and how and what you've expected from the partnership.
Absolutely. And I think exactly as you shared, Lauda, it's never been a one size fits all. Here's the sponsorship and membership offering and, see you later. It's always been, what can we do? How can we help? What are your focus areas this year and going forward? And so that has changed for Fifth Third over the last 7 years. Fortunately, we've had, great support and value in the areas we focused. And again, now we get to expand that with our combined operation and organization in Houston. We're delighted to have retail branches throughout the city, close to 60 Comercio branches that are going through conversion right now. And then we've announced that we're going to build throughout Texas 150 more branches. For Houston, that probably means around 60 more to come. So for Fifth Third to double the number of branches in Houston over the next 3 years. Obviously, with branches, you're really focusing on the consumer, which as the third or fourth largest city in the country, the consumer base and the consumer needs in banking has never been at a higher point when you think about what they need, the dynamics of how they're managing and handling their checking and credit and investments and family planning. So now that Fifth Third can support the broad consumer base in Houston, it's tremendous. And also, I think small business, emerging middle market businesses, private wealth, private banking, these are all new resources that we have team members in place today. But we're also growing and hiring. Given you mentioned Houston's a large city, and then you look at the growth dynamics of Houston, it's not status quo. So we are investing and planning ahead and adding more and more people and resources to support the growth of Houston also.
So what do you think will be some of the things that your customers will see, especially the Comercio? What will they see? What will be some of the differences?
Sure. So I think immediately day one, the consumer will experience a really award-winning digital leading platform when they think about the experience, the interface with the app and technology. There will be an enhancement. Product offerings will be more robust as they visit the branch. It wouldn't just be to see a teller. They might see a mortgage officer. They might see a loan specialist for auto loans and mortgages and home equity lines. They might see someone that can help with investments and investment products. And as they get to know the banking team that's there to greet them more and share more of what they need, there's more and more capabilities and resources. So I think they'll see more of them. They'll have more locations in which they can stop in to do some of their routine transactions. They will see an enhanced award-winning digital platform to really help automate and do things more remotely that they don't necessarily need to visit the branch for, and just overall offerings and people there to help depending on their situation. So we're really excited about that. And again, throughout the entire city, I think of the 150 announced for Texas, there's probably upwards of 90 to 100 of those branch site locations that have been identified. So we're not slowing down, or we're not waiting until year 3 to start to figure out where they're going to be. A lot of them have been identified now.
Well, again, great for our region, great for Texas, and certainly great for business, because when you think about these branches, someone has to design them, someone has to build it, someone has to manage them. And so this is a win-win for all of us. And Scott, you've been so involved, not only as our chairman, but as a leader out in the community, and your whole team I think it's important also to remember that you all have been very vested in this great city, and it helps in so many different ways. And so I just want to say thank you for that, Scott. But it also helps connect the work that you all are doing, having that presence, and then, as you mentioned, providing that customer service for all of your existing clients and potential future clients down the road. So there's a return on investment, and it comes full circle, and we're just glad that the chamber is a part of your overall strategy.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, it's part of the dynamic of a big city and a growing city is it does get to be competitive, and it remains competitive. And banking, financial services is highly competitive. So you can't be complacent with what you are doing today and expect growth and expect opportunities to expand your presence. You really have to think about, how do you differentiate the experience? How do you add value? How are you helping your clients think ahead? And again, fortunately with Fifth Third, we're doing all of those things and then some. And we're being really intentional with all of those influential community leaders, business leaders, organization leaders, such like the chamber. I'm really excited that we started that relationship when we started 7 years ago. And we've been able to expand and grow as we continue to see the chamber grow. And we're at a high point, an inflection point where there will be a lot of opportunities to continue partnering and leveraging each other's resources and support our wonderful dynamic city in Houston.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Scott, for all that you do. Congratulations on all the success that you and your team have had. And again, if you're watching us, please visit the Fifth Third website for more details, more information about all of their exciting announcements, and also visit the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce website. Thank you so much. We'll see you real soon, Scott. Goodbye. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Today, we're going to be talking to CPA tax partner at Crow LLP, none other than Nina Perez. Nina, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about, you as a Latina in this very competitive business that you've got. Tell us a little bit more about the industry. What is Crow and what do you want people to know about it?
Yeah, sure. So Crow, we're accounting, tax, consulting, and advisory firm. We also have a really large technology practice. We specialize in every industry. We're a great company that values ourselves as being one Crow and building on a great employee culture. It's a fantastic place to work and to have to be a partner at, to someone. A company that really has our back and really embraces diversity in the workplace and has a lot of resources for our community and for Latinas, and a very supportive company.
So let's talk about that as a leader in a very competitive industry. Tell us a little bit more about some of the mentors and what has been pivotal to your career in this sector.
Sure. One of the most central lessons I learned early in my career was that leadership isn't about fitting a mold. It's about bringing value, perspective, and integrity to the table. And as a Latina, there was certainly moments where I questioned whether I belonged in rooms where few people looked like me. But I was fortunate to have mentors who reminded me that my background was not a limitation. It was a strength. I joined the public accounting world a little bit older than my peers. I had a different career path than the traditional one. I was a young mother, and because of that, I had to work while I was in college, and I wasn't able to really transition into a definable career path until I was a little bit more seasoned. So oftentimes I felt out of place. Maybe being the only Latina, the only woman, the only mother, the oldest person. Sometimes I overcompensated. I'm also the youngest of 5 children, so I really crave attention when I can get it. And usually I was the loudest or the most outspoken, and I wear my emotions on my face. You can tell when I'm annoyed or mad. So I would often have to be told that I needed to have more self-awareness. So that said, some of the most influential leaders in my journey were the ones who challenged me, and they told me to speak up with intent, not just for the sake of hearing my voice, for not being, for the fear of not being noticed, but to bring meaningful content to the conversation. And they taught me that confidence and trust is built through action. I also learned the importance of having sponsorship and having people who advocate for you when you're not in the room. And equally as important were the moments where I was taught to embrace being my authentic self and realizing that my perspective and the ability to build relationships and to not meet a stranger wherever I go and embrace, kind of our culture were leadership assets. So I definitely try to pay that forward, and I try to mentor and help create environments where diverse talent feels seen and heard and empowered to be themselves.
Very good, very good. You can tell that you've been a good student and also a great leader in sharing that what was invested in you, that you've pushed as well to others. So I want to talk a little bit about your clients, inflation, uncertainty in the economy, workforce challenges, technology, as I mentioned earlier, and helping your clients remain resilient, but also ready for what's next. Let's talk about that, please.
Sure. So right now, I think being future ready and resilient is less about reacting to disruption, but really more about adapting to it. The businesses that I often see as thriving are the ones that remain disciplined while still being willing to innovate. I really encourage my clients right now, at least, to focus on three things, which is agility, people, and data. So like for agility, businesses, the conditions are rapidly changing. So leaders need to be able to make decisions quickly and have structures that allow them to pivot quickly. With talent, workforce challenges, they're not temporary. And companies that invest in culture and employee experience, I think, are really going to have a competitive advantage. Retention and engagement across with employees they're really business strategies now. They're not just HR initiatives. And then third, data and technology. A lot of organizations still make decisions based on instinct alone, and companies need better visibility into operations, financial performance, consumer behavior, and risk. And technology and AI can absolutely help with this. I believe that organizations that are positioned for success are the ones that have balanced operational discipline and willingness to evolve.
Excellent. What else would you like to share with the audience about Crow and the work that you all are doing?
Yeah, so I think we really, kind of piggybacking on the discussion for AI, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people can make is thinking that it's only for large tech companies. So we're really trying to help our clients embrace it and see that it's a tool that can be used across every industry. I'll speak a little bit more towards like the Hispanic businesses that we try to really engage with and bring forth to them things that maybe that they're not used to having so readily available to them. Right? A lot of Hispanic professionals and entrepreneurs, they need to see themselves as participants and not observers. And we really try to encourage that. And so we try to, start with curiosity and continuous learning and giving people all of the tools that they need to be successful and making sure that they feel comfortable to adapt with technology and have the willingness to adopt. I really think that representation and innovation matters tremendously. So having, diverse perspectives lead to better products, better solutions, and more inclusive business strategies. So we really try to instill that in our clients and our prospects and even in our employees. I think everyone brings unique insights, and something that I love about our community is that we're very community centered, and that's incredibly valuable.
And you all have been very involved with the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Partners and sponsors. And so we appreciate that. And for all you do for business in the greater Houston region, thank you so much. And thank you for representing Crow so well. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you very soon, Nina.
Thank you so much. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm so honored to have our next guest talk to us a little bit about financial planning, succession planning, family businesses, and all the things that sometimes as entrepreneurs, we just don't want to talk about. And sometimes we just kick that can down the road. But the great news is that Bruno has been doing this for a very long time. He's affiliated with a very well-known company, and it's also the kind of company that you can do good and you can do well. And by that, he'll explain to you a little bit about their philosophy and the way that they operate. So on that note, let me welcome Bruno Interlandi. He's the Market Director, Strategic Growth for Tribent. Bruno, thank you so much for joining us on today's program.
Pleasure to be here, Laura. Pleasure always to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And to help our people, our Latinos, do better in life.
Yes, well, on that note, first let's tell them, what is Trivent? What do you all do? And why is this conversation so important for our entrepreneurs and community?
So Thriving is actually a very unique organization. It's a not-for-profit, Fortune 500 financial institution. The three things together, normally you don't find them. It's a non-for-profit that is also Fortune 500, that it's in finances. But our mission is really to bring clarity to financial clarity to people. So basically understand what are the decisions they should be making. We're also pretty large. We manage more than $200 billion. But when we start conversation with our people, it's not about their money, it's about them. It's about their life. It's about their future. And then money, of course, touches every aspect of life. So you got to be good at managing that.
Well, and it's an important conversation. And I mentioned this the last time you and I visited, when we had held a business seminar with entrepreneurs, and I asked the question regarding how many of them had established and put together a will, a succession plan, etc. And 90% of the hands stayed down. They had not done it. Many of them assumed that a son or daughter would continue with the business, and the truth was son and daughter had no interest in the business. And so that turned out to be a very, very important conversation. And so we're glad to have you and the Trivent team involved with us. And we will be hosting also a webinar with Bruno very soon. And we'll be answering a lot more in-depth questions. But let's talk about the strategic growth and the market that you're serving and Trivent. You guys are huge, as you mentioned, right? For profit.
We're
And all of the above.
So we're big. I came into actually United States to work with the organization. It was born out of a denomination, but then it got big because of most people would not know also, not only they don't know our name, we're the most ethical company for the last 15 years in a row. There are only 2 organizations in the world that have that. And so we make it a big deal of us to not only help people, but help them with values. And so that's why we resonate so much with the Latino community. And that's my main focus. I am now, since we've met, you don't know, but I'm now the leader of the development for the Latino community all over the United States, not just in Houston, but all over. It's a new thing that we're doing. So I'm glad to take that responsibility upon me.
That, and it is a growing dynamic and growing market, as you mentioned. That's why we have so many corporate partners that get involved with this, because they understand the demographics, especially here in Houston, where we represent approximately 45% of the demographic, and we contribute billions of dollars per year annually into the Houston economy. So there are 4 points that we wanted to touch on, and we have just a few minutes, so we're going to do a condensed version. But estate planning, personal finance, concentration risk, and exit planning. Those are the 4 topics that
Let's go.
Let's go ahead and knock out very succinctly. Estate planning, let's go with that one first. What should people know in a nutshell?
So in a nutshell, is that estate planning is about caring for your family and caring about your work, what you've done, what you've produced. Because if you don't plan that, most of the time when I ask people, do you have a will, a trust or whatever it is, they say, well, mi familia sabe, or my family knows everything. The truth is that love does not that. It's a judge that takes care of that. And so if you don't plan that, that's going to be a tough one. Most people don't do it because of ignorance. Because they think it's difficult. Some people think I don't have enough to do an estate planning. And so those are the main reasons. And nobody ever taught us to, maybe our parents didn't need to have that. So all of that makes it that, as you say, more than 95% of the people doesn't even make a last will or a testament. And hopefully nothing happens to you, but your father and mother, you got 2 kids, you want to know who will take care of your kids if something will happen to you. I mean, you want to write that down just to make it very simple. So that's one of the reasons. You're protecting your family. You're making sure that then the next generation gets the money you've worked hard for, I don't care if it's $10,000 or $10 million, that it gets to the hand in the way that you want to. I mean, that's the show. It's very cheap, actually. Not doing it is more expensive than doing it. Most people don't know that. There is a word that it's very important that is called probate. So probate, it's a process, it's a process that the judge decides where your stuff is going to go. So if you don't write it down, somebody's going to make a decision. That costs between 2 and 4% of whatever you're leaving. And just going to a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, so we don't do that for our clients. We help our clients making sure that they do that. It's a much cheaper process. So I would say if we have to look at the small version, that's a small version of why they should do it.
Need to do it. We need to have the conversation. Personal finances is another thing that you guys focus on, and concentration risk. Let's take those two together. Let's talk about that.
So personal finances. Now, specifically for business owner, I will imagine most of the people are listening to you are business owner. Latinos, we do this. We come here, we work hard, we work on our companies, and there are two types of company. Let me go very fast. There is a type of company that is called lifestyle company. That's a company that I started. It's give me enough money, I'm okay now. It gives me whatever that amount. They may be 70,000, 500,000. I'm okay. I'm happy. I'm reinvesting in the company, but that's it. And then there is growth money. Most of our people, the Latinos, we have lifestyle companies. We start something that is giving enough money to give us support and stuff. We want to have our companies go to our next generation, but we're not creating the process and the system so that somebody else can take it. So what happens is that we're not saving for retirement. We think our company, it's our retirement. The fact is that if we are not in the company, the company has zero value. And do you know what is the percentage of companies that are actually sold in the market? It's between 20 and 30%. Out of every 100 companies that go to be sold, only 30 get sold because they have everything that it takes. So in personal finances is that most of our, the big problem that it is that most of our people that have companies are not saving enough for their retirement, and they are not preparing the company to go to the next generation. And then on the professional side, let me go very fast there. Our Latino professional, thank God we have a very much increasing number of people that are working in the corporate America, they're making their money. Their 401k contribution, it's 30% of an American. So an American average, I'm talking about average, it puts around $12,000. A Latino, it's around $3,000, $4,000. Results, they gotta work until they are 80 because they're not saving enough money for, again, why? Because nobody taught us, because it's not as a priority. So we should stop 1 second, especially on that, and think, because in the United States, you get a loan for basically anything you want. You want to go on vacation, you get a loan. You want to buy a house, you get a loan. But the day you want to retire and you go anywhere and say, will you give me a loan for retirement? Nobody's going to give you anything. So you have to think about that. That's very important.
Bruno, you're a wealth of information, and this is exactly why we will be hosting a webinar with Bruno Internandi, and he's going to talk to us more about estate planning, personal finances, concentration risk, and exit planning. So please join us and also visit their website for more information. I want to say thank you, Bruno, for you all becoming part of corporate partners, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and the entire team. We'll see you soon. Goodbye. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I get the privilege to meet some outstanding entrepreneurs and leaders in this community. And I'm happy to say that Demetrius Navarro and his family have been involved with this chamber at least as long as I've been here. Perhaps, and when we talk, he'll correct the record. Maybe it was even before my coming to the chamber. But as we move into our 50th year, next year of this Chamber of Commerce, it's been great people like Demetrius and others who have consistently been engaged. They've invested, they've given of their time. He has served as a board member and continues to not only engage with us, but now it's a family affair with both of his sons who are also involved with our chamber, none other than President and CEO of Navarro Insurance, Demetrius Navarro. Thanks for being here, Demi.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. I appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to have this discussion about myself and Navarro Insurance Group and the Chamber. Of course, the Hispanic Chamber has been very important to our success and in our ongoing growth and continue to be in our future. Yes, I was probably a member of the Chamber a couple of years before I met you. I didn't meet you before you became president of the Chamber. Outside. So we were very excited when you came on board, and we just everything that's happened with the Chamber in our involvement, not only with like Nathan and emerging leaders, and hopefully Evan here soon, along with your invitation to was the second cohort class of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 business owners, and we got a lot out of that. So for me, with informal education, that Goldman Sachs helped quite a bit, bring me up to an MBA level type CEO of running my company, and then the opportunity to continue to grow it.
Demi, it's just been fascinating to watch you and your team continue to evolve. And, one of the things that I've noticed most about what you do in your team is just how focused you are on taking care of the clients you have. I mean, you guys really give them this white glove service. And on top of that, your team is very active. And you guys have advocated not just for Navarro Insurance, but for businesses on many occasions, as we are seeing so many things change and businesses having more and more hurdles. You've been at the forefront saying, just let us do our business, let us work, let us serve you. And that's very impressive. Having a business is not an easy thing. And so I want to kind of go back a little, right? And how you got into this, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Demi.
Yeah, so, I was born and reared in Houston, so I've been here pretty much all my life. I went to Austin to UT for a couple of years, tried to give it a go. Houston was booming at the time. I loved working. I started working when I was, 13 years old, stacking groceries, mowing lawns, that kind of stuff. And then at the age of 15, I figured about my age and got a job in a men's clothing store in the village selling suits. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather at a very young age. So I was around a business owner, entrepreneur. He was an auto mechanic. He had a garage, Navarro's garage in downtown Houston for over 60 years, and also in the East End. We grew up in the East End, South Houston, so we were very involved in the evolution and the growth of Houston, coming out of downtown Houston, also out of the East End. So we spend a lot of time with various businesses, getting our haircut, eating, grocery shopping, everything back then in the 50s and 60s was, pretty much the East End before it started moving west. So that entrepreneurial spirit kind of set in with me, with my grandfather. I loved to have gone to work with him, but he didn't want us to have dirty hands and dirty clothes. He's, hijo, I want you to wear a suit and a white shirt. I want you to go to work for a big company and have health insurance and an expense account. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And, here we are today. So, it's been very exciting, for us to see, our background. Also, I love Houston. It's very dear to my heart. So, anything that we can do to continue. People ask, are you going to retire and move away, somewhere, to the beach? And I was like, oh, no, there's no way. I love Houston. We like everything about it. For us to, to retire or to sell to private equity, we kind of, chose to not take that path about 5 years ago, and pretty much settled into growing the company. Nathan came on board 4 years ago, 4 years ago in January, in business development. He's done quite well. You knew him from when he was with Silver Eagle and, was in the leadership program there. And he's hit the ground running. Then Evan came 2 years ago in June of 24, and we launched our commercial division. So we're doing property insurance, commercial, fleet. He spent 5 years with some large consulting firms getting his experience, and we just felt like it was the right time for him to come on board. So we're very excited.
a great team with diverse experience. You've kept it in the family, which is very hard to do, we know, and significant changes in Houston. And all along the way, you've pivoted, right? So let's talk about Navarro Insurance Company or Navarro Insurance Group. Let's talk about, where you are today and some of the new things that you're doing and where you began this whole process.
Yeah, so, I started at Cigna Individual Financial Services back in 1984, doing, fee-based financial planning, investments, and life insurance for, high net worth individual company and business owners. At the time, Houston was at its bust. There was nothing going on in Houston. The oil crash had happened. People were moving. So just by, out of starvation and survival, I started doing health insurance because a lot of our clients, prospects that I was visiting, you wanted help on their health insurance and their life insurance. So we kind of gravitated towards that because that's where the revenue was. And, I left Cigna after 5 years, went to work for a couple of commercial insurance agencies here in Houston. One was a regional one, also doing their health, employee benefits, and executive life insurance and all. And there was a point in time I started in 1999, the business, but around about 97, I started becoming disenchanted where I was at. That entrepreneurial spirit came out. Their philosophy was sell more and service less. I had an opposite philosophy. I wanted to service more and sell less. So that's when we ventured out. Elizabeth's been with me for 33 years, who is still with me today. We left and started Navarro Insurance Group, and now we picked up Sam along the way. Lenora came on board, been here. Sam's 22 years. Lenora's 16, 17 years. Selena's 26 years. I have another one that's 16. So we have some longevity and some maturing, not only staff, but also sales producers. But in the last 3-4 years, we added 3 sales producers that are all under 35. Latina, Crystal, that works in the Woodlands. We brought her on board 2 years ago. And then also we've hired basically 5 support staff in the last 12 months. So we have our whole look and feel has just completely changed Navarro Insurance Group, Yeah.
The commercial arm that is Navarro Insurance Group. Let's talk specifically. What do you do and what are the clients that can call you guys?
Yeah. So, was always something our existing clients were asking us about, do we do commercial insurance, property, workers' comp, do we insure fleets? And it was something that that I'd been around. I'm quite, versed at it. But we have been doing so well with employee benefits and executives. And then basically the Affordable Care Act started to happen in, 2009. And that took us about 4 or 5 years to really get our arms around that. So it wasn't good timing for me to step into it. Plus, stepping into a new venture like that, at my age, it was like, I'm going to, may take away from what I'm doing with my existing clients in our portfolio. So we chose just to kind of sit back, and we had a plan for Evan. He graduated high school, went to college. We talked about this when we were growing up. He wanted to be in the insurance business. He worked for me for a couple of summers, and then I told him he should probably go and do something fun, like go work at a store at the beach and, have some fun before he went to college. Because, when you go to college, things kind of start to slow down a little bit because you're in a reality mode that you're going to be working. But our plan was, for him to go work, for a national insurance consulting firm doing commercial insurance, getting licensed, learning about fleet, franchisees, workers' compensation. So we came on board. It was really kind of time because we were starting to get asked more and more questions about that. And it's really been phenomenal because it's just been, as soon as we launched it in January of 25, it's been just going uphill, really, the swing for commercial, because everybody needs commercial bonds. We're heavily construction, Houston is, in Texas. We always have been. We're going to continue to be. There's billions of dollars that are, in construction, road building, infrastructure that's going to be going on for the next 15, 20 years. So we're very excited. Predominantly, I would say 60 to 70% of our client-based portfolio are Hispanic speaking. So majority of my staff are Spanish speaking bilingual. So we do a lot of that. We educate, we try to help, new entrepreneurs, new people that are starting their business, and, financial literacy, be prepared to get insurance, to get a bond. We run into situations where they've won a contract with Metro. It starts at 90 days and they need a bond and they never had a bond. It takes about 6 months to get a bond, and you got to have a good credit rating. You have to be prepared. You can't just, insurance companies just don't issue bonds, to anybody. So we like that.
And your own entity and your team, you've got a team of very experienced, again, with different types of experience on your team. And that's why Navarro Insurance Group, we're so proud of you all. And thank you for signing up as one of our newest corporate partners. I know you guys are underwriting the upcoming Infrastructure Summit, where we will have contract architects. So again, if you have any commercial insurance needs, we're asking you to support businesses, local entrepreneurs such as Demi Navarro and his team. Again, that is Navarro Insurance Group. Demi, on a personal note, thank you for being so involved in this community. We are so proud of you and what you have built and how you've managed throughout all of these changes in Houston and the country to find a way to provide service to a community that needs it and continue doing all the great work that you do. And again, our thanks to you on behalf of our board and staff. Thank you for all that you do. See you, Rose.
Phil, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I feel the same way about the chamber. You're a great collaborator. You're always willing to introduce, to refer. We feel like that. We continue to want to support the chamber, and so glad that you're there and everything that you do for us. It's just very exciting. You see the turnout like you had at the luncheon. Everybody was excited. For us, when we stepped up, our obligation, we could have spent some money on our marketing and efforts in some other organizations. But last year, I told Nathan, I said, I really want to step up our support and our contribution to the chamber, because they've always been good to us, and we've been very successful in helping others. And the other thing I think that you do real well is us doing business with each other. So our printing comes from a member of Hispanic Chamber, Rosemary. MCA Communication does all the video for us. They're also members. So we like doing that without, it's like, oh, we could always go to some big national company to do this, but that's not very fun. It's really doing business with small businesses that are here in Houston that are very supportive of what we do also.
It makes a difference, Demi. Most definitely it does. So again, on behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we encourage you to visit their website and take a look at the work that the Navarro Insurance Group is doing here in our region. Thank you, Demi.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We are happy to announce one of our newest partnerships, and that is with Smart Financial Center. If you have not been there, you're missing out. It is a phenomenal facility, such a great array of events, concerts, programming. It's a treat. It's a jewel right outside of our Houston area out in Sugar Land. It's a must attend. Lots of activities. I had no idea just how much is going on out there, and we're just happy to announce that the Hispanic Chamber has a partnership with Smart Financial Center. And it's good to see my friend who we've had a long history together in the event world, and now he's the general manager, Kirk Goodman. Kirk, wonderful to reconnect after all of these years that we've partnered through the chamber.
Likewise, it's great to see you, and we love working with the chamber on all the events that we're doing. So we're really honored to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kirk. And what an amazing facility. It seems like yesterday when the Smart Financial Center was built, but it hasn't been yesterday. You guys have been at this for a while. How many years now?
So we actually are celebrating our 10th anniversary in January, believe it or not. So we're ramping up for a lot of 10th anniversary celebration stuff. We've got a huge weekend planned in January.
Yeah.
Maybe bringing back some folks who were around the time we opened, some big names. So we're excited to kind of kick off another decade of entertainment down here in Sugar Land with a 10th anniversary.
And I bet First of all, the residents of Sugarland
Yep.
love to have something of their own right there. However, I will say, based on your lineup, you've got to have people coming in from all over the place, not just from Houston, because you've got an impressive lineup. I remember going to see Sting there a couple of years ago, and it's an incredible facility. Then I was there most recently, of course, the World Cup. Sugarland is one of the big sponsors of the World Cup, and you all are trying to bring more energy and excitement to this region. It's been voted, Fort Bend area is one of the best places to live. So it's an exciting time for that region.
It really is. Sugar is a great town, but the people forget how close it is to Houston.
Yes.
When I lived in Houston before, I worked downtown, lived in the third ward, and I was like, Sugarland seems like it's forever, but it's a 20-minute, 30-minute drive. So when you're coming down here for a show at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, we're closer than the Woodlands. We're closer than a lot of other, suburbs you can get to. And this venue is worth any drive you could make. I mean, it's indoors, it's air conditioned. We have movable walls so we can change capacities. And really the diversity of our lineup is what I love the most about this place. Yeah, we rarely see the same audiences back-to-back nights. We might do a comedian one day, a Latin show Saturday, and a movie with a symphony on Sunday. And so we'll do 3 shows with 5,000 people a piece, and it's 15,000 different people. So the eyes we get in our building are different. It helps us just to create some diversity down here. And we do pull, 60% of our audience comes from Harris County and Houston. So we're bringing everybody from everywhere.
Well, congratulations, Kirk. What a treasure for our region.
Thank you.
And once again, the facility is phenomenal. The food is great. I love the way you all have set up that lobby area, the VIP service for the valet parking. It's a great experience. And as you mentioned, if people haven't gone to your website, they should go because the lineup, you all have a little bit of everything, right?
We really do.
It's so many things. It's a great, great opportunity. What do you want people to know about Smart Financial that they may not know?
I think the biggest thing is that we're closer than you think we are. Number one. It's a place that has a little bit of something for everybody. Not every show everyone's going to love, but we have something you're going to love without a doubt. And when you walk in our doors, you're going to get the utmost in customer service. You're going to get an absolutely beautiful venue with great sound, great sight lines, comfortable seats. We are 10 years old, but we're still only 10 years old. So there's a lot of newness to this building.
Absolutely.
And as we get ready to kind of reintroduce the building to the community again after 10 years, we've got a lot of new things coming down the pike. So I want everyone to just keep our eyes on us, see what we have in store. And we've got some really exciting show announcements, initiative announcements coming up soon that we just want to make sure it permeates the Houston market.
So just to give an idea of the diversity of entertainment, as you were mentioning, when you think about Dancing with the Stars, Mel Robbins is going to be there. And you look at the performances that you guys have. Just again, if you've not visited the website, please do so. There's something for everyone in the family. Price point is very, very extraordinary in terms of your price point. And it's a great facility. It's a great place to take corporate partners, et cetera, right, through your suites. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So we have 14 suites in the building. And we're starting to offer them in smaller packages, knowing that a lot of people don't want to come to all 120 shows we have here every year. They might only want 30 or 40. So you can do smaller packages. We also have a beautiful Mercedes-Benz of Sugarland Lounge that has a private bar. We do a buffet up there that the menu rotates every 3 or 4 weeks that you can add on to your suite purchase. And the sightlines up there are also great. And you get free valet, you get a private elevator, you get concierge level service, private bathrooms. So if you're talking about a premium experience or you want to bring your clients or your special employees, whatever it may be, those suites are an absolute must look at to bring that level of entertainment and that level of service to your people.
Absolutely. Well, Kirk, again, we want to thank you for the partnership and for all the work that you and your team are doing. It's a heavy rotation. You've got people in and out of there all the time. But if you're a corporate partner, if you aren't, you want to go out and visit Kirk. They're happy to work with you and your team. So many ways that you can entertain guests, staff, family, all in one, right here in Houston, right outside of Houston, just a 20-minute drive to Sugarland, Texas. Kirk, thank you so much, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you, Dr. Laudo. Appreciate you very much.
Goodbye. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm so happy to welcome one of our corporate partners who's been with us for a very long time, and they do great things in the community. That, of course, is Verizon. And so with us today is the Associate Director for Verizon. It's Caitlin Davis. Welcome, Katie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me, Dr. Murillo. Really glad to be here.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the investment in this community. You all do so many phenomenal things, and so happy to have you all here with us on television and radio as we talk about a little bit about some of the many things that Verizon is doing specifically with small businesses. So let's start there. Talk about small business. Let's talk about Verizon.
Yeah. So I sit within Verizon's Responsible Business Organization, which is the team that provides community impact programs for the company. And within that group, we have an offering called Verizon Small Business Digital Ready. It's a free online learning program for small businesses to help business owners adopt technology in a way that is really approachable and accessible. So back in 2020, Verizon made a commitment that by 2030, we would support 1 million small business owners with tools to help them thrive in the digital economy. And this was really born out of the idea that we have seen a lot of research that shows that business owners who adopt technology grow faster and stay in business longer than peers who don't. But we also know that business owners are very busy. They're wearing all of the hats often. And so bringing technology into their business can also be overwhelming. So we created this platform to provide free courses, tools, workshops to help business owners bring technology into their companies in a way that will help save them time and help them grow.
And it's so important, as you mentioned, so many challenges that our small businesses face, that you've made this easy, accessible. You're out in the community, you're out at the chamber events where your constituents are. So I also want to talk about just some things in particular that you all have focused on as it relates to business and technology. Give us some specific examples of that, please.
Yeah. So the Digital Ready platform is primarily a series of online courses that are all taught by individuals who themselves are small business owners. So we teach about technology adoption, not just from the perspective of Verizon, a huge company, but also from a perspective of entrepreneurs who have been through that journey and understand how small business owners think and how to make technology approachable for small business owners. So on the Digital Ready platform, we have more than 60 online learning courses on everything from digital marketing, social media, how to bring technology into your operations. We're investing really significantly in AI content right now. So right now we have 7 courses on AI for small business, but they're all under 30 minutes, really presented in a way. Our goal is that a business owner can leave that session and be ready to go do something same day in their business to help them succeed. We know that time is...
It's timely, it's a crash course, if you will, and we can't talk about business, we can't talk about technology without what you've just mentioned, AI, right?
Yes.
So I'm glad to hear that you all have some ready to go in and look at where can people find all of these seminars and sessions.
Yeah, so we have a free online platform. The website is verizon.com/digitalready. And it's a very short, free application process. It's not even an application process, it's a registration process where you just tell us a little bit about your interests, and then we will serve up curated content to help meet your needs.
Excellent. And so again, if you've not visited the website, go and take a look at it. And it's at no cost. It's certainly something that you can take advantage of and implement, it sounds like, immediately for your business. Now,
yeah, and if I could, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, given that you're the president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we also, more than half our courses are available in Spanish, and the entire Digital Ready platform also can be translated into Spanish. So that's something that we've also been investing in.
Very well. For those of you then that are looking for that bilingual opportunity, there it is. And certainly, again, we appreciate Verizon having that foresight to provide that to individuals who may need that in a second language. Let's talk now about what's going on in Houston. I'm happy to serve on the executive committee of the Houston-Harris County Sports Authority. I've been involved with the World Cup as part of the bid committee since 2018. And now this World Cup is upon us. Verizon playing a very big role. What should people know about Verizon's role?
Yeah, so Verizon is an official FIFA sponsor. But more importantly, what I want to talk to you about is all the work that Verizon and many other community organizations have been doing to help support small businesses take advantage of all of the economic opportunity that the World Cup is going to bring into our cities. So the World Cup is bigger than any Super Bowl, any Taylor Swift concert, right? All of these big events that come to town, it's happening all at once across the country and in Houston specifically. And so we have been, since last fall, helping train small business owners with how to take advantage of that economic opportunity. And it runs the gamut, right? There are opportunities to get involved very directly with FIFA and the host committees, but it's also smaller things like if you have a restaurant or a Main Street business in these cities, tens of thousands of people are coming to town from all over the world. And we want businesses to be prepared to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yes, and we are very excited. And so many of these investments in our great city, including infrastructure, the expansion of the George R. Brown, the airport improvements, those are here to stay well beyond when our guests come to one of the matches for FIFA. So let's always remember that. And the investment that you all, Verizon, are making in this great region is so important, so timely. Entrepreneurs, business owners, go and visit the Verizon website, get information on these many free webinars, sessions, etc., so that you can continue to build your business. Thank you so much to you and the entire Verizon team. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo.
Goodbye.